when trying to sell shit online, I used to obsess over these little details that actually don't have much of an impact in the long term, or they're not the things that you should be focusing on in the beginning. I'll give you an example. So, and I see this across so many people that I've consulted with, and just, so many people out there who are asking me questions, DMing me and stuff like that. What happens is, let's say someone goes and launches an info product. Now, they take a lot of time to create that info product, number one. And they analyze that info product and they're like, is this good? What can I change? What can I improve? And obviously you want to create something good, right? Then you go and create, let's say, like the cover image for the info product and the title of the course or the guide, whatever you're selling. You're like, okay, so it takes a while to flush that stuff out. Then you go and list it on a website. Now you build out a sales page for the info product. And you talk about all the details of the product in the sales page and the features and benefits. And then you create graphics to go along with that sales page and to help illustrate, what's inside, and build out all these testimonials if you have them, or you create the whole design of the page. And then you're like, okay, well, I need traffic. And at that point, you're faced with two options, really. Like, you're either going to sack up and just run ads, or you're going to sack up and try your fucking hardest to create content that actually drives traffic. Now, the problem with the content side of things is that most people can't just go from being a beginner and knowing nothing about content creation to just having success with content creation. It's not to say that you shouldn't do it, but you can't expect that you're just going to start creating content and you're going to start driving like hundreds of site visitors like in a week, right? And that's not realistic. But you need that many people to go to your site in order to get some data back to understand, what's working with your messaging and what's not, or if your product's going to sell or not, right? So you might as well just throw ads at it. So, okay, so now you decide, all right, well, I'm going to do ads. Now you got to build the creatives. You got to think about what you're going to say and all that stuff, right? Now, all of those things are important, right? They are important, but the most important thing is to figure out if you could even get traffic at a reasonable price to something in relation to what you're offering. So here's how I would actually undo all of the stuff that I just talked about to save time, energy, and money and build more effectively versus spending all that time doing what I just said. Now, most people do what I just said, and if they're just starting out, this can take them months to get the product ready, all the images ready, the sales page and all that stuff. Like, I consult one-on-one with people, and I'll give them a template for exactly what to copy. Like, here's a sales page that works for me. Copy this, change some of the verbiage, and then launch it for your own product. I do that regularly. And do you know how long it takes people just to do that? Just to copy the sales page, rewrite some verbiage, and launch it? And I'm not like saying like you suck or anything like that, or like, I'm not like mad at it, but I'm just saying realistically, people can take like a week or 2 weeks to even get that done because of their busy lives or whatever, right? So just going back to, if you're gonna create the course, create the images, create the sales pages, create the order bumps and upsells and all that stuff, then create all the ads and all that shit, and then finally launch that shit and get that traffic going to see if anyone's really gonna buy your product or not. Here's how you can reduce the time that it takes to get that product to market, to figure out if you're going to get clicks, and then you can go build out all that shit and optimize it. The main point that I'm trying to make here, and I'll finish this up in a second, but the main point I'm trying to make here is it's more important to figure out how you can get traffic flow and then kind of build and optimize around that, versus building everything out and then being like, okay, well, now how do I get traffic to this? Because you're going to discover so much when you start sending traffic to whatever you're offering. And, 90% of people, whatever they're offering and how they're offering it is just not going to hit the way that they want to. And they're going to have to change things in order to make their messaging resonate with their audience. Okay. So here's what you would do instead. And I'll give you an example from my life, an exact example. I sold a guide, a PDF that was called How to Sell Your Products on Instagram. Do you know why the guide was called How to Sell Your Products on Instagram? Because through doing some ad tests, I found that the ad that said How to Sell Your Products on Instagram got the best click-through rates, got the cheapest clicks, and I was like, okay, and I sent it to a page, a Shopify store that was just a page that had a cover image of a ebook that said How to Sell Your Products on Instagram, and then the price right next to it, like $37 with a small description. Okay, there's like no optimization that went into this, no effort, very minimal effort. Okay, so what happened? The ad got a lot of clicks for a great result, like for a great rate, right? For very cheap. And when they went to the Shopify page, people fucking bought the guide with like no description on there. Okay, that was huge. Now, if people had just hit add to cart or almost initiated checkout, or some people almost completed the purchase, I would have been stoked. But people actually bought the fucking guide. So then I tried this with a couple other products and nobody bought the other guides. And the clicks weren't there. All that stuff, all the good indicators weren't there. So I said, okay, how to sell your products on Instagram. That shit's a winning product. Let's scale this up. So I started to spend more. And after spending more and more and more, I was like, okay, well, it's doing well, but I think I can make it do better. And that's when I went and built out a full-on sales page, created a bunch of graphics, really built this convincing sales page, bundled it with some other products, added some order bumps, and then added upsells on the back end, and then even tagged a coaching program onto the back end of that, and then used my original ads to send traffic to that page, which then converted better and scaled up, and everything was great. It saved me so much fucking time by running ads for concepts that I had to see which got the best clicks and which could potentially convert better. And then taking that data and building upon that data to serve the market something that they actually wanted, and then optimized from there. Now, what happens to most people? Let's just say it's 2 months. 2 months to get all that shit in order, to run the ads, to find out that you're having trouble getting conversions. When I just did it in like a couple days. And then moved ahead, rebuilt all my shit, and then boom, blasted past you. So if it was like a race, I would have just smoked you. That's how I look at it. If you're going to launch a product or service, just get it out there. If you have social media traffic, that's fantastic. It's a great way to offer people something and like get a little feedback on what you have. If you don't, run some ads, kind of figure it out. But like, you need to put your shit out there and not work on the website, the graphics, the verbiage, all that stuff. Don't worry about that stuff so much. You basically could sell anything with like a headline. And if it starts selling with a headline, even just a little bit, or people are like interested in it, you get like messages about it, or you get people on your website clicking buttons, and like you see that there's general interest in what you're selling. Then optimize it, make it better based on the data that you're getting. This saves you so much time and accelerates your results so much faster. I think that's it.